all over to you then, Gary.
Right, good evening, folks. So what I thought I would do was I'll do a sort of quick run through of basically my workflow, and then I'll convert the image to black and white, and I'll do some dodge and burn and show as that. So
Yes, good.
that's my plan. So am I sharing?
You need to press share
Uh,
like we did yesterday.
yeah, I thought I'd done it. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So,
no, what we're doing is because you're talking, we're seeing your picture.
yep. So we're sharing now.
I've got a picture now of a row of houses and the one of Wales Cathedral, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both Wells.
Okay. All yours.
Top. I'm just waiting for it to open up. Right. Here's my image. So I'm not going to go into it too much, but just a basic run through of how I adjust my images before turning them into black and white and then doing the dodge and burn.
Yeah, you're actually on bridge at the moment. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, fine. Okay.
That's where I wanted to be.
Yeah, fine. So you're opening this up. You're opening your photo up in bridge.
Yeah. So I've not worked on this photograph or looked at it before, but can you see there's some camera flare there? I've just noticed in the tree. Can you see my mouse moving? No.
No.
In the tree there, it looks like some camera flare. So we'll have to ignore that. So yeah. I was going to say I don't know if anybody uses dehaze, but dehaze.
Just a sec, Gary. I think you're on the wrong screen because nothing's happening. I've got your bridge up, but we're not seeing anything move at all.
You're not seeing any.
You got the screen. You got the right screen selected.
I thought I had.
Got the green band around it.
No.
I haven't got the right screen connected.
Cancel. Right.
That's it. That's it. Now I can see the mouse.
So you could see the mouse.
Just go on about what you're on again about the flare.
Yeah. So can you see the image now?
Yep.
Yeah, full screen.
No.
So I thought it just went into it once it.
Yeah, I could see your.
It worked okay yesterday.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it.
So you've got that one. You can see that one.
Yep.
So with the green band. So what do I do to get to the by opening it?
What, opening that picture?
Yeah.
Well, just continue how you would open it, and it'll just move over. It'll just carry that on. Eh?
Which I've just done.
Right.
And now
it might be that if you go back and reshare, but perhaps if you share desktop rather than share the app, you know, you've got lots of windows you can share. There's different ones. It might be that try a different one, like share screen rather than
unshare that. Unshare that one first.
Yeah, come back out of that.
Right.
Right, that's it. Now go in and share your desktop then.
And then you've got the option for screen, probably would do it.
So,
You've got lots of boxes like whiteboard, iPhone.
yeah, I've got screen. Is that the one I need to be?
Give it a whirl. That should do everything then. So when you blow up a picture, we'll get the same view in theory.
Right. I've done it.
Yeah, that's your screen.
Oh, can you see Photoshop opening?
Yeah, you're just opening it. Yeah, wasn't already open.
Yeah, it was just now.
Yeah, right.
It was all right your end. It was
Yeah.
everybody else.
All right, my end.
Yeah. It's not you, Gary. It's us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Anyway, that's all we got time for tonight, folks. See you all next week.
Thank God for that. Right.
Tune in next week, folks.
Can you see an image?
Yeah, we got it.
Full screen image.
Yep.
So what I was saying was, obviously, I haven't done anything with this image before. That's why I chose it. But just around here, there's some flare, isn't there?
Yeah.
Lens flare there. Anyway, so I usually have a little go with the temperature and tint. I don't usually do too much with tint. And a bit of adjusting on the contrast.
So this is, sorry, Gary, but this is in camera raw, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And seeing this is going to be a monochrome image, I'm not too concerned about the colors. All I want is the contrast between the colors, because they won't make a lot of difference when we convert it.
So what do you do on the, you adjust them as you see how you think it should look?
Yeah, it's usually a case of moving the sliders backwards and forwards until I see something I'm happy with.
Yeah.
I was saying that about dehaze earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And a dehaze, you know, on a color image, you can't push it too far, but on a monochrome image, you can push it a lot further.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's probably all I do for, you know, work my way through the basics panel. I always remove the sharpening. I go back to normal sharpening, or zero sharpening on there. Optics, and do your lens profile, and
do you remove the chromatic aberration or not on that one?
if I think it needs it, yes. Right. But not always. Okay. It's not a first response. I check it. Yeah. So also, when you convert to monochrome, providing you don't just desaturate, you can adjust your colors. And we'll come to that in a minute. But you can also use the colors here. So you can adjust the hue and the saturation as you feel fit. Yeah. So you see it brought a bit more reds out in some of the foliage. So I'm going to leave it at that. That's probably all I do now. And open it up. So now we're in Photoshop. I'm going to have to move you folks again. Where's, oh no, it's all right. So, see, I go always going on about it. This is where I would crop the image. I make my adjustments. I use this golden circle. I think that's what it's called normally. So as I say, I'm not messing about too much. So from here, I use a program called ADP Pro. And inside ADP Pro, I've got this photo or mono FX, which is how I convert my images to black and white. And here I've got 7 zones or 11 zones. So I think I'll just stick to the 7 for this demonstration. And it takes a few minutes to go through all its procedures. There's building up a log like Ansel Adams. He invented dodge and burn, or not invented dodge and burn. He did the zone system, didn't he? I've got a little quote here from Ansel Adams, and it says, "Dodge and burn are steps to take care of mistakes God made in establishing tonal relationships." Right. So with this Photo FX, we start by adjusting colors. You see, it's mainly the red and yellows that work, and you can do this in Photoshop. You can use the same thing. Greens, well, there is some greens that will adjust in it, but quite frequently there's not. Blues, we can darken the sky. To your liking. Something like that. What do you think? And we probably won't get very much in the magentas.
No.
No.
No. Not that I can see.
No. So we'll accept that. And then we've got as I said, I've only got 7 for this evening, but we've got the brightness. We can adjust the dark, the blacks. And this is another, just trying the sliders and setting on what you think is right.
Okay. Do we know what the zones are then?
Well, one is like the blacks.
Right.
And we move through the dark. I don't usually use the 7, so I would think there's probably a couple that are black, and then a couple 3 in the mid-tones and a couple in the highlights.
Right. Okay, so it's just about moving the sliders and seeing the effect it has.
Yeah. You see how it's darkening the water down on this one?
Yeah.
I think that's probably too much. but it's darkened down and you can see the clouds better, can't you? And you can actually see the bottom of the wells.
Yes.
Yeah, this is, you know, I probably wouldn't want that standing out so much normally, but I'm going to leave it for the moment. It's just still in the.
So would you say then that where you move these sliders to are just a personal choice, really, personal taste? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like everything else, isn't it? And
Yeah.
yeah, and I say, I'm not going to do it as I would normally do it, because I would take it, as Malcolm used to say, you'll take a bit more care and a bit more time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're just doing them a bit more extreme so that we can actually see it on the screen. Yeah.
What's happening? Yeah.
Yeah.
See that? That was the clouds. So we got a little bit of detail in the clouds, and we'll probably get a bit more. Yeah. So there's some shading there now.
Yeah.
Right. So that's that. That's the adjustment of the zone system. And then we have a few more sliders. We have a bit of structure in highlights, midtones, and shadows. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of contrast adjustments. And then at the bottom, we have toning. So steel colors, it's a bit stronger. And the sepia ones, blues.
So you can only obviously have one of those active at any one time, yeah? Yeah. Fine.
So there's your choice. I don't think would ever use that one. I'm going to take it back to the original.
Yeah.
And I'm going to create an image as it is. It'll take another few seconds for it to compress it all down. And then I can get rid of that. So if anybody's interested, this is Mono FX. Right. Now, dodge and burn. So that's a history brush. And while we're in the history panel up here, if we click on the camera, this gives us a snapshot. And then if you click in that snapshot to say it's active, we can use screen, which will lighten. So I'm going to push it all the way up to 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've overdone it. So click back one, and then you can adjust your flow, your opacity. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have more control. You can do a little, or so that's for lightning. And multiply, the same thing. You can do it really 100%. And do you notice how it pretty much sticks to the tree you have to go over it a bit before it starts colouring the background.
Right.
I'm just working my way back now because that's over the top on that.
Yeah. So is this all on a separate layer then that you could then turn on or turn off if you wanted to?
Yeah, it is. It's,
yes. Yeah, you're on that
monochrome layer that you're creating.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's the same thing. You know, you can adjust your opacity, and you get some detail in the sky. We don't want too bright right on the edge. Take it off a bit more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get rid of that. What else should we do? Well, go back to screen. I'll come down to reasonable levels somewhere around where I would normally work. And then you can get your highlights, you know, get some more detail of those clouds in the water. If you want a bit more, just push it up a touch more. Yeah. And there you go. So even trying, of course you can, it's a normal thing for changing the brush size. You can get, you know, tone that down a little bit. Right? Make that building stand out a little bit. And the same with that tree. Now, see how that's brought out that reflection there?
Mm.
And that's, you know, basically all it is. It's nice and simple. And so you can, you know, if you overdo it, you can just step back and it's, you know, no problem.
And change it. Yeah.
Yeah. You can do whatever you want and lighten it up, darken it down. Some of the so it's mainly only dodge and burn. Some of the others, some of the other modes do work, but you know, not a great deal. I did have a list of what did work, but I don't know what I've done with it. So it's only multiply and screen for lightning. Yeah, so has anybody got any questions you can ask?
There was one on the chat, can you use an adjustment brush?
Not as far as I'm aware. So this is, you know, just inside the history brush. And that's all I know for using the history brush for dodge and burn. Whether there's other things, I wouldn't know, but that's okay. I think it's a great way to do dodge and burn. I like it. I like the way it works. I can control it. I can get what I want to go where. So.
Do you need to have the ADP Pro to do that, Gary?
No.
You don't? Oh, right. Okay.
This is
right. I seem to have lost it halfway along. Okay.
Yeah, this is Photoshop. So there's, yeah, ADP Pro was just the way I used to convert it to monochrome. So after that, we're back in Photoshop, and this is, you know, that's
Yeah, so you could have done the adjustments that you did at the beginning in Camera Raw,
yeah,
which it always opens in anyway, doesn't it? If it's a raw image,
yeah,
and then instead of doing your AD or your mono FX bit, you could go into Photoshop,
yeah,
convert it to mono,
yeah.
and then use the history brush to do this
Just
sculpting and burning. Yeah.
as I said, I'm just sort of showing you, you know, partly to fill up some time of, you know, of how I, you know, how I work with what my workflow is.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't suppose it's much help to anybody, but
No, but it's good to see how different people do different things,
yeah,
and you always pick something up.
yeah. So is it a? See, we managed to crop it, but I still managed to leave the camera flare in there.
Yeah, well, that's something for you to take out later.
How would we get the camera flare out, Gary? Is there a
Oh, yeah. Oh,
crop it out is easy enough?
yeah.
Would you use the healing brush or the healing patch?
No, I think I would probably go to crop tool and
On this occasion. Crop it out. Cool.
What's that? The healing patch, isn't it? Is it the healing patch?
so yeah, patch tool. Yeah. So there's
Did you see that, Ray?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we've got a similar setup and affinity on that one.
So just circle around the flare and then pull it to wherever you want to copy it from.
there, it's gone, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Nice.
If you could see it where it was changed in amongst those tree branches, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah, you can't.
Was that a free plugin, Gary, for Photoshop users?
What?
Is that a free plugin or is there a cost to it to get your mono FX?
Yeah, ADP you have to buy.
Mono FX is part of that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Part of the package.
Yeah.
So really it's giving you a lot more layers. If you turned it monochrome normally, you wouldn't have as much ability to change the layers and so on.
That instant zone system.
Very clever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the zone? Is the zones, are they adjusting the luminosity of the different bits of it? Yes.
The zones are luminosities, I think.
Sorry, say again, Terry.
The zones are different luminosities. So
yes, that's what they are.
Split into 7 levels of luminosity that you can tweak individually.
Right. Fine. Interesting. Anybody else got any questions?
Is Dodge and Burn it came from back in the Lightroom and when you used to develop photos, that the terminology.
Yeah, Dodge and Burn. Yeah, that was from the darkroom, and I don't know if you all know of Ansel Adams, who was a photographer from California in the 1920s and 30s, I think. Might have been a little bit after that. But he invented the zone system for getting his. He worked in black and white all the time. So, yeah, he invented the system for changing the luminosity of colours or the monochromes.
And I noticed on Affinity in the menu where you've got the Dodge brush and the Burn brush, there's also the sponge brush. Not sure what that one does yet.
It smudges things.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like a sponge would instead of a paintbrush or something. But...
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, if you were painting the wall and you used a sponge.
Actually saturates and desaturates.
What was the sponge?
Sorry, it's so like a watery sponge, is it?
I've got stuff on Affinity Ray.
Yeah. Just wondering what that does actually.
There's a couple of ways of dodging and burning on Infinity, and I think Keith has got some more.
Yes. I saw a demonstration of this technique by a photographer from Chichester Camera Club, I think, actually using the history brush with the blend modes to do dodging and burning. And they provided a table that for the other blend modes that work.
Wow.
So I think if you use the history brush with color burn, you just darken the shadows. If you use the difference blend mode, you just darken the highlights. So it is capable of, it being a little bit finer tuned if you really want that. Although I quite like what Gary's shown because it's very simple. You just have to remember two things, don't you? You could try
Gary's limit, really.
you could try the history brush with soft light, and that increases contrast.
Oh, right.
So,
yeah, as I said, Keith, I did work through them, and I'll try them all, and
Yeah.
I did make some notes of other the ones that changed, but stick with the two, the multiply and the screen, and I think they're the two that do the most.
The other method that I've seen for Affinity, I'm sure it works the same for Photoshop. If you want a non-destructive way of doing dodge and burn, is you add a pixel layer, you fill it with 50% gray, you set the blend mode to overlay, and then you use those dodge and burn tools just on the pixel layer.
Right.
That's the way I
That
use
seems
Keith.
to work pretty well because you
Yeah.
can throw away your mistakes.
You can, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the way.
Do what, Bob?
And I have an action for that, so I just record those steps and I put that pixel layer there with one click.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way I use Keith.
Right.
Yeah, well, for some of the newer members, actions is something we've not touched on for a lot, probably not since Malcolm did it, I think, last. Yeah, they are a good way, if you get into them, of saving your different actions. And like you say, Keith, one click and it does whatever you want it, whatever you've told it to do, basically.
The only one thing that I found that can be a little bit annoying is sometimes when you change over from multiply to screen or something like that, the brush won't respond to enlarging or making it smaller, and you have to click up here. There's usually a blue box around it, and if you click up here, and then you can get it to work again afterwards.
Right.
But just in case you wonder why it's not responding, that's the reason.
And I guess although you've not done it, you could do exactly the same as what you've done in color.
Yeah.
It's just you just miss out the desaturate bit.
Yeah.
Good. Worth trying.
There's another thing you can do if you're using an overlay layer, because if you're using the ordinary dodge and burn tools, you've got an option for doing highlights or shadows, haven't you? Which you don't get if you're using an overlay.
No, you do.
Even if you're using the
do
burn
in
tool,
Affinity.
you're actually.
You do actually in Affinity. The dodge and burn tools work just the same. I don't know quite why, but they do.
Yeah, but the highlights and shadows are of the layer that you're on, not the one that you're burning, aren't they? That's, as far as I could see, that's how it works. If you're on the 50% grey, basically you're only doing mid-tones. It's not taking the highlights or the shadows from the image that you're actually burning, the image on the layer that you're overlaying, as I can see.
Right. I don't know. I'd have to look. I'd have to.
But what? So to work around that, you can on your dodge and burn layer, you can actually make a mask from the image. If you copy your image and paste it into a mask layer on your overlay layer, then you get a mask with the image. So it will only affect the bright parts of the image, and if you invert that mask, it'll only affect the dark parts, or it'll affect the bright parts or the dark parts more. Effectively, you're giving that sort of highlight and shadow control to an overlay dodge and burn layer, or you could do 2 layers, one for shadows, one for highlights.
That's what we do.
But like I said, I don't think the sorry.
That's what I do. Is make 2 layers. Mark one highlight, one burn, one dodge, and you use either the white to darken or the black to lighten.
Yeah, except they're doing the same thing, aren't they? If it's just an overlay mix, you could do them both on one layer, but except it's harder to undo them. But like I said, if you create a mask from the actual image, and if you want, you could do a copy the image to a new layer and up the contrast, and then create a mask from that. Then basically you get a mask that will concentrate the dodging onto the bright parts of the image, or if you invert the mask, it will concentrate it on the dark parts of the image. So it's a way of getting back the sort of highlights and shadows control that you get with a dodge and burn brush.
Right. Okay. Anybody got any other questions for Gary, or anybody else? Okay.
So I was going to say, has anybody else been here? Do they know where it is?
Long time ago.
What? This is Wells Cathedral, isn't it? Round the back of it.
It's, yeah, but you have to go in through the Bishop's Palace to get here.
Right.
And then you have to go round or through the gate and over the bridge. And this is why it's called Wells, is because this is the Wells.
Right. Oh, okay.
Cracking image. Is it on a long exposure, Gary?
No.
No.
The water looks quite nice and smooth. Maybe it's just like that.
Yeah, I've just noticed there's some plants and.
Who took the picture, Gary?
I don't know.
The cracking picture.
Yeah, put it in the next PDI. Who knows it is?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, spotted Loch Ness monster.
Yeah, it's a plant life here, and as I say, further along and up here, this is where I think it's about 7, where you can actually see the water coming up from the Mendips. Is it where it comes from?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, as you say, it makes quite a nice photograph. So if you're that way, it's worth a visit.
Would you, just to complete the workflow, Gary, would you export it a certain way or certain settings, or just JPEG it, or depending on what you want to do?
You're going to do sharpening in a minute.
Right.
Have I got a couple of minutes, Peter?
Yeah, you carry on. Yeah, carry on.
So I use this ADP for sharpening. And what it gives me, can you see the box? It's changed to sharpening. And I click on the, I would never do sharpening until the very last. The very last thing I would do would be sharpening. So here we've got some sizes. So if I click on 1920, that creates an image on the longest side of 1920 pixels, and it's also sharpened it. So if I go up to layers, and this is a sharpening layer, and now all I do is change the opacity. I don't know if you can see that. So that's 100%.
Might need to zoom in a bit more. Okay, that's better.
Yeah, so we're on 100% now.
Opacity you're going to do?
Yeah,
You're on fill. You're on fill.
so I am. Thank you.
That's all right.
And right, so 0%, and then I'll just move it up and see the changes.
Yeah.
And you know,
And that'll be the strength of the sharpening then, depending on the yeah.
Yeah, so another. I know you probably won't want to buy ADP Pro, but that's nice and simple way of sharpening as well. And it gives me another layer. If you notice, we've now got 2 layers, 2 images, the original raw one and the one that is 1920.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. I see what it's done. It's created a new document.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've deleted the 1920 and that's the original.
Yeah. So when you click on that ADP, it creates another copy of the photo.
As I said, the size that you want.
Yes.
You can pick and choose your size and create, or even, create your own.
Yeah. Fine. Good. Well, thanks for that, Gary.
So,
Gary?
I think that was very interesting. Would you like to unshare your screen, please?
I could stop sharing.
Well, that'll do. Unshare. Stop. Right. What I wanted to do, just wanted to go through now, was I've made some changes to the website, and a minute. Make sure that comes through.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I don't know I don't actually know if anybody at all uses the website or has used it recently.
Couldn't remember the password.
Eh?
I noticed.
Couldn't remember the password.
Right. Okay. Well, what I'll do is when I send the links for this week's meeting out, I'll put the password in. It's Kodachrome 100 with a capital K, but I'll send it out anyway, because what I want to try and do is get this to be more of a sort of central point for everybody for when we load up the videos and load up the PDIs, because you've all been sent a link this week to the PDIs. So if you go on the Practical Camera Club website, that's the homepage, and then you've got a latest news page, which is basically the posts which are also shown on the right hand side here. Just a copy of those, but the main thing is the members area, which is password protected, so that nobody from outside can go on it. And what I've done is I'm working my way through this so that we can make it a little bit more user friendly, which is why we've now got less menus at the top here. So the main one is going to be members area. So I'm going through doing them. So we put the rules of the competitions on there. So you click on that, it'll give you the outline of the competitions, etc. And there's the rules there. You can click on that link there and it'll bring the rules up, which you can print off. But now what I've also added, we've got the link to the Flickr site for the PDI entries. So if you go on that will then link through straight away. So I wouldn't need to send you the link, because that's always going to be the same. And then we got this week's, so you can just go in and start viewing them and go through and mark them. So that's that.
Cool.
Oh,
And then the other thing we've got now is, we've got a link to the Zoom meetings and the presentation videos. And obviously Keith did one. So if you click on that from the website, that'll take you to our YouTube page, which is where I'm going to store all our videos. And what I'm going to do, these will be private for access to the members only. If you go on YouTube and try and search for Practical Camera Club, or search for our Zoom meetings or any of our training videos, you won't actually be able to find them on there because we've kept them private. So we've got things like, I think that's last week's, we've got a Zoom meeting back from June, which was a critique. And I think if you go on the details of it, it tells you what, gives you a description underneath of what the Zoom meeting was. Our Zoom meeting from the 30th of June, which critiqued the entries to the PDI. What I'll try and do is get a bit more detail on that first page. And then we've got the Affinity presentation that Keith did. So that's on there now. So that was so just by clicking on that, you get, sorry, what did you say?
Which one to, Peter?
Sorry?
Who are you talking to?
I don't know. Was anybody there?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I thought someone said something. I'm hearing things. And we got Dave Murphy's did a single raw exposure on HDR. So those things are all linked now on the website. And what I'll do over the coming weeks is get some of these other documents, and there's presentations that we've done on here, but I'm going to get them all tidied up a bit so it's a bit easier to click on one and it will bring up all the presentations. Another one that will do all the competitions or the any Photoshop or Affinity links. So that is a bit more that's on the website. So there's also some examples of some of the members' photos on there, which was already on there. And then there's some details for new members. And then there's a bit about us, which is for use really on the, for anybody looking at the site that aren't members. And we do get a few people visit, quite a few people I think actually visit it. But I just think if you could just get yourself set up with that, if you haven't already got it set up, and if you put the password in, it saves it, so you won't need to put it in every time. And then you can get onto the members area, and that's where all the resources are from all the meetings. We'll get all the Zoom meetings put up, but also all the PowerPoint presentations are on there, so you can go back through.
Peter.
Yes, Terry.
I just looked at the video site. It doesn't show me any videos. I think might be private, meaning only you can see them.
Did you go through the website?
Maybe it's, yeah. Yes, I'm on the page. It says Practical Camera Club on YouTube, and it just says this channel doesn't have any content.
Oh right, okay.
So maybe somebody else can try it, but maybe the private.
Yeah, well,
thing
Colin tried it yesterday, and he managed to get to it. So I'll have to look at that then. So you've gone on the website, press what I pressed, and that YouTube, well, those three videos aren't there.
Yes, that's what I'm looking at, but I'm not logged in because I don't have a Google account. Whether logging in makes a difference or not, I don't know.
No, you wouldn't need to log in. If you go through, you've gone through our website to get to it.
I'm on that same page.
Yeah.
Oh no, hang on. It says featured, not videos. No, yeah, I'm on the same page, same address.
The videos.
On the videos tab, and it just says channel has no videos.
Oh right, okay. Well, I'll look into that and find out why that's not working. But when we tested it yesterday, they were there. I don't know if anybody else can just test it and see if that's the case. I mean, I put them private because I don't know if anybody wants if any of the members are happy with people from the outside viewing them. Don't know what people's thoughts on it are.
No,
Anybody
that'd have
got
to be
any
a bit sad,
thoughts?
wouldn't
I
it?
mean,
I can just,
eh?
I'm on, yeah, I can get on YouTube quick here and have a quick check.
Yeah, but have you gone through the website?
I'm on the website, Pete, and then I'm looking, I'm in the members area, logged in,
Yeah.
and then where am I looking?
We click on
Oh, link to
members
Zoom
area,
meeting.
then link to Zoom meetings and presentation videos.
Oh,
I've just done it and I can't get in, Pete.
Oh, right. Okay.
It
All
just
right.
says this channel has no videos.
Oh, right. Okay.
Um,
I'm
Pete,
confused.
probably,
How do we check it anyway? Do we have to go to YouTube first, or do we have to get on the web and
No,
go
no,
to the
no, no,
actual
no.
No,
app?
it's a
you
link,
go-
link through the
Everything
club
goes
site.
through the website.
Right,
You won't find it if you go through YouTube, but then
Right, that's okay. That's what I thought originally.
Right,
but
okay,
when you were
I'll
saying
make-
that, I thought I'd got it wrong.
I'll make sure it's working, and then I'll send you out the details with
Lovely,
the
thanks, Pete.
password, which everybody seems to have anyway.
Pete, I've got a similar channel that I use for work,
Yeah.
for school, which is a very similar setup, and you've got yours as unlisted, which is right.
Yes.
So when someone's got the link to that video,
Yes.
you can view it.
Yes.
But if you go on the actual channel like we are tonight,
Yeah.
you won't see any videos.
No.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
Well, if
So
you-
you've got private, unsubscribed, or public.
Yeah.
There's only
Unlisted
them
or public, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've got so if we have links to those, it'll work, but you can't actually see them, on the channel, if you like.
Yeah.
That makes
Okay.
sense.
Well, I will go back through that tomorrow and check that out and see why that's not working then. Because when
We'd have to end up-
obviously it's working from my computer, because obviously that's where I set it up. But I did get Colin to check it yesterday, but I gave him the link, and it's just the link that I've copied into the website. So
Yeah.
that's
did you give him a link to? Was it a link to the video or a link to the channel?
Well, I gave him a link to the. Yeah, there was just one video there at the time.
Yeah.
So-
Well, if we have a link to the video, then we can probably see it.
Yes.
So you probably have to put
Yeah.
up links to all the videos on
Yeah.
our website.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah,
all
not
the,
just the page.
web
Anyway,
address.
I will sort it
Okay.
for you.
have a play. That's
So that
great,
it
though,
works.
Pete. That's great. Having it on YouTube is great because it's so much easier to see them and stop them, and high quality as well.
Yes, and there's no limit to what we can put up on there. So
That's
then
great.
I'll get them all put on there if everybody wants them to go back
Brilliant.
through them.
Peter,
Yes.
there's a section there, isn't there, for examples of members' work.
Yeah,
Is it the intention to put something there from everybody's work?
I can do. It's not. It's what David had put there before, but I can certainly go through and put something from everybody up there.
Well, I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I haven't actually looked at that page yet, Roy, but I will look at it and
Okay.
yeah, I'll make sure there's something from everybody.
Nice touch.
Yeah,
Good shout.
looks like there's quite a few different people there, but not everybody. Some of the newer guys aren't there. There's
Cathedral.
there's Wells Cathedral that Gary took. It's better in colour, isn't it, than black and white?
Trudy, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Trudy. So we got Barry, Trudy, Colin Darkin, Trudy, Jackie, Dave Smith, Gary, Dennis Peters, Kevin, myself, Jackie again, Dennis, Terry Noakes, Gary, Kerry, two of Kerry's, Dennis Peters, Colin Leach, Bob Crouch, Dave McGill. I'll make sure that there's at least one of everybody's.
Cool.
Then it's much more representative of the membership then, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, even if it's one of your bad ones, Ray, I'll put that up there, all right?
Cool.
Don't be cruel.
Yeah, I know. I'm cruel. I shouldn't do that.
That's
So
great.
that's basically what we've got. So it would be nice if everybody was to start using it. If you've got any suggestions of anything you want to see on there, but the most important bit is getting. I'll get that members area with the link to the Zoom meetings sorted, and then I'll get these other items below put into a bit more of a user-friendly order, and then all the different presentations we've done will be on there. So you'll be able to go through. And if you've got a problem when you're doing something, there'll be a Photoshop or an Affinity section, and any of the presentations we've done, you'll be able to look back through and use them. Sorry, Barry, am I keeping you up?
It's past my bedtime.
I was just going to say, it's a bit late for you, isn't it? Have you had your Horlicks yet?
Not yet.
Peter, can I just make a comment?
Yes.
We had similar sort of thing in Bewley, and they tried to, make the website all singing, all dancing, and that everybody had to look at the website and, pay homage to the website.
Yeah.
And there was quite a lot of resistance, I have to say. There were quite a few people who, for one reason or another, couldn't be bothered or didn't or whatever, and it caused quite a lot of friction. So I'm not saying it will happen here, but I'm just alerting you to the fact that it might.
Yeah, fine. I'm fine. What I'm trying to do is make a central point for reference. So if
Yeah.
you're sat there on a Saturday afternoon and thinking, well, I know we covered dodging and burning a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
How did I do that? You can go on the website, and in a couple of clicks, you'll find it.
Yeah.
And
Sounds good to me.
like I say, hey, do what, Trudy?
I said that sounds good to me.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
obviously with the Zoom meetings, when it's working for you, you've got we're going to put together a suite of them. At the moment, all we've done is Keith very kindly did the one on Affinity, and Dave did one on the single raw exposure. Colin and myself will get round to recording some more and put them on there about different things that, a bit like tonight with Gary, somebody's work process, just if anything that will help. But I'm not going to say I'm not sending out weekly updates anymore. It's just, if in between meetings you want to look up something that we've covered, it'll be on the website. It's already there, most of it.
I think that's the way to play it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to force you there. I'm just telling you where it is. But it would be nice if people did use what the resource we've put there.
Yeah.
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 What I'm basically saying is, don't ever ask a question that's on the website. What we doing next week? It's on the website. No, that's just because David put a lot of time and effort into getting it all set up, and I'm not sure how many people did visit it. But all I'm trying to do, I've just tried to reduce the number of items at the menu at the top, so it's a little bit easier and quicker to get to anything. Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions? I think that's about it for tonight. I've had a few. Sorry, I asked you a question, then carried on. But I've had a few items sent over for future weeks to cover, especially now we've got the dark evenings here. So I will be taking up Ray and Roy's very kind offer to do. Ray's going to go through Luma Fusion, and Roy's got he sent me an email with some details on a presentation he's got. So we'll do that. And if anybody else has got anything that they want covering, I have got some stuff to do on sharpening that I'm going to go through. We'll probably do that in a couple of weeks' time. Next week, you obviously all got the link to the PDI. So if you could get your scores into Colin by Friday, please.
By Friday?
Friday, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Colin did say as long as it's there by Saturday morning, he picks it up anyway. And then next week we'll do the critiquing of that PDI. And then in the meantime, before then, I'll get the program up together from now until the end of the year. We've got two trophies to play for. We've got the Len Ferguson, which we'll just agree on a subject for that, and the Malcolm Leach trophy. We'll get an external judge for that. And Colin, you're there. we agreed last year that the winner got to choose the subject. So if you could have a little think about a subject and let me know, and then I can get that out to everybody with the date of when we're going to need the PDF, because it's obviously going to be, should be print, but it's going to be PDI, it won't be print.
Yeah, we did agree originally that would be print, but obviously the situation has changed, so we'll come to agreement on a different.
Yeah, so if you let me have a subject, and then I'll let everybody know.
No problem.
Maybe black and mono cathedrals, perhaps. Give somebody a head start.
Yeah. Even Wells Cathedral.
I've got some pictures of it.
All Wells are
Quickly back on the website, Peter.
Sorry?
Back on the website, Peter. Our members' work requires a login now, and I don't think it used to.
Yeah. Oh, our members' work.
Yeah. That says protected examples
Oh,
of
it
our
does,
members'
yeah.
work if you're not logged in. So
yeah, I think I just
I'm pretty
protected
sure
it.
it didn't used to. And
No,
yeah.
it probably didn't. I'll get a bit
Will that be
sensitive
the
about. Sorry?
Sorry, will that be the same password then?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, but I just get a bit. We've had in the past 1 or 2 members get a little bit sensitive about having their photos online available to for the public to see. But if nobody minds them being accessible to the public, I'll unprotect it. But for obvious reasons, we protected the members area because there's stuff on there that we don't want people downloading our presentations and pinching them. Perish the thought.
There's loads of them.
Eh?
Don't want them downloading your pictures either, Pete, and especially those of the owl. You have to watermark them all.
Yeah. So has anybody got any objections to their photos being accessed?
We're having loads of photos on Flickr already, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Publicly
Yeah,
accessible. So it's
yeah.
a bit late. That horse already bolted for most of them.
Well, it has a bit. Yeah. I'll unprotect that page. I didn't realise.
Also, just a tip for people: if you're looking at one of the albums on Flickr, there's a download button on the front image, and you can download all of them in full res and view them on your own computer.
Yeah.
I find that much preferable than doing it on the website.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we were going to upload them at smaller resolution, but the problem then is when you go to mark them, you think there's something wrong with the picture. So it's
yeah.
6 of one and half a dozen of the other, isn't it? What do you do? Unfortunately, if someone wants to download and pinch your photo, they will. Yeah,
but they're not really big enough for anybody to do much with them.
No, they're not. Well, I get 1 or 2 people are sending me through quite large. I don't resize them down anymore, or haven't done recently.
No, I always upload full resolution. I mean, I don't really care.
Yeah, and I just upload them as you send them to me. I mean, I could watermark them. I could watermark them.
Use any other ways of sort of sharing them? Does anyone use that 500px and sites like that?
Well, the best place would be Dropbox. If although I don't think you can protect those without having a Dropbox account, can you? But
just a general theory about people, sharing them so people can see their work, and people are using Instagram or Flickr or 500px, because there's a cost to both, isn't there? If you want, Instagram's free, but
Flickr you've got to pay if you don't want the ads to come up.
I think it's Flickr you get 1,000 a year, don't you? I think I saw.
Yeah, I mean it wouldn't take too much work to put a watermark on everybody's picture that I upload to Flickr.
Yeah, but it's not much work to take it out, to take the watermark off again, isn't it? It's not really going to stop anybody.
If you put it in the right place across the middle, they take it out. You can actually see it.
Looks horrible then, doesn't it, to judge them? So I don't know.
Yeah. I'll look at that.
If someone ever uses it, you've got the original, haven't you? You're covered. If someone really went to town and marketed it, on billboards up everywhere in London, then you've got the original.
I think that I'd be quite flattered.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Yeah. Be flattered and then send them a bill.
Yeah, exactly.
Thinking about the commercial side of photography, we were in a cafe in Runbridge Street. There's a new cafe down there. You know what the Co-op is? It's just this side of the Co-op going out of Runbridge Street towards Rushington Roundabout. Anyway, it's called Cafe Oasis.
Right.
And in there, there's a guy that's, well, I've not seen him in there, but there's a hell of a lot of images on the wall that this guy has, taken locally and printed, and he sells through this cafe. And anybody that's down there, it's well worth going and having a look, actually, because he's got some quite nice stuff, really.
So it might be a place to go to get some ideas then.
Yeah. There's places with nice sunsets. Gary might.
Well,
I was just gonna. I think we're closing down, aren't we, in a sec?
Yeah, we're not far.
Photography show.
Yes.
I don't know if anyone's interested, but you can still, if I share my screen real quick, you can visit, photographyshow.com.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that was recorded and that. If you go on visit on demand, you've got to register and so on. There's some really good stuff on there.
Oh, right.
So you can just whack your email in once you've registered. It's on until the 19th of October. And I'll just show you quick some of the juicy stuff that you can go in, for example, into say the main stage. And if you go in here, click again, and then you've up the top, you've got all sorts of different. So if you're into a bit of editing or you just want a bit of inspiration here, there's some really good speakers. So for example, there was some really good, Affinity Photo stuff on there. Adobe Photoshop for landscape. And they're not on YouTube or anything like that. You can only get them on here at the moment.
Right.
But yeah, there's some really good stuff.
Oh, that's.
Divide that in two and think, okay, that's 11. So.
And it's free. But yeah, it's
Well,
only
might be worth a visit then.
Sorry, mate?
Might be worth a visit.
Yeah, and if you're into, if you want to have a look at the latest Canon and all the rest of it, the usual photography show. Burst mode hub. It's really good. There's a lot of, lenses from Nikon, Sony, so on.
Yeah.
The EOS R, all about it. Oh, you can't get in that one, but yeah, some good nuggets.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And galleries is very cool. I put a link on WhatsApp, so if you go into it, they use this fancy system to show their pictures.
I saw that. I thought it was a bit annoying, to be honest.
Yeah.
Bloody annoying.
You can get a bit dizzy, can't you, Terry?
I see. You go through as if you're walking around the gallery.
Yeah. That's
it. and you're drunk and you don't know where you're standing.
Oh, blimey, yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, so Pete, if you can set one of these up on our website.
Yeah, that'd be no problem. When would you like that done by? Next Tuesday?
By the morning, Pete.
Oh, okay.
That made perfect sense to me because I was pissed when I was looking at it.
Yeah, there's one of Gary on the horse after he's done his presentation.
He is the horse.
Yeah, is your presentation finished, Gary? Yes.
There you go, folks.
Oh, right, that's good. I'll have a look at that. I did get sent a link for that, so I might have a look.
Good, some good nuggets.
All right, folks, that's it for the night. Any other questions or anything burning questions or anything anybody wants to ask? Like I say, if you could get your scores in for Friday, please, for this week's PDI, and next Tuesday we'll critique them, and we'll get the Colin, if you get your subject back to me, and I'll get the program updated. And
any volunteers for critiquing?
Pardon?
Any volunteers for critiquing? Is there?
Hang on. When you all talk at once like that, it doesn't come through. Okay, me and Gary will do it.
For a change.
Yeah, for a change. And we'll ban the word crop.
No.
Until at least the second photo.
Oh, all right.
crop or replace it with an A, crap. Right, crap or crop. Thanks for the presentation, Gary. That was cool.
Okay. All right, folks. Lovely.
Useful.
Yeah,
Take
thanks
care,
very much,
everybody.
everyone. Thanks, Gary.
Cheers.
Bye.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Good night.
Snappy.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye, Sylvan Mike.
Not all.
Hi, Jim Bob.
Good night.